My channel was deleted. At first, I thought maybe I had turned on minimalism mode after watching a few too many Matt D'Avella videos. But no, my complete livelihood of over 2,500 videos and live streams, not available anymore. In this video, we're going to talk about starting over, from scratch. For many of us, one of the greatest fears we have is the fear that we might have to start over, completely from zero. Feeling fear, regret, resentment, we hate. We bitterly languish over what caused us to restart. We point the finger at all of the injustices around us. And it was the computer, it was Fox News, it was YouTube. We point the finger at our boss, inflation, the stock market, the economy, the lender, the reporter, the cop. We recount over and over and over again how things could have been different. If only we had done something differently, if only we had gone down a different path, made a different choice, if we had sold that stock at a certain time, or bought the stock at a certain time, or taken the job we were offered, or said no to a bad idea. Sometimes the feeling is so bad, the anguish is so painful, we just want to go to sleep. Just want to wake up in a happier, more certain time. We feel like slaves and trapped. But that time doesn't come. That happiness doesn't come. We're just trapped. Happiness, success, wealth, satisfaction never come to you, though, on a silver platter. And really, it's resets like these that end up separating the men from the boys. The strong from the weak, the leaders from the fearful, the resilient from the hesitant, the adaptable from the stagnant. True leaders know that they don't actually restart back to zero. They don't actually go all the way back to the starting line. They adapt. And they take the most powerful tool that they could ever take with them: experience. As Aristotle once put it, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. And so I kind of think of this analogy. Crop rotation. Everything goes in cycles. For 4 years, you plant strawberries. First year in quadrant 1, 2, and 3, and you leave the fourth quadrant empty. And the second year, you plant 2, 3, 4, and you leave the first quadrant empty. And you repeat the cycle over and over again, tearing down all of the existing crops all the way down to the soil, and you start from scratch with seeds again, over and over and over again. Sometimes that is what we call our job, our day in, day out livelihood. But then something changes. And then we find out there are two types of farmers. One farmer keeps planting strawberries, keeps grinding, doing the same thing year after year after year, but all of a sudden gets frustrated. He's not progressing anymore. He used to do so well and grow so quickly. Everybody loved his strawberries, but now he's frustrated. He's not progressing anymore. He's falling backwards. He's losing more of his crops to frost and heat. Less people are buying his crops, his profits are declining, and his success is waning. Farmer number one says, I guess I'll just have to work harder. Because after all, the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? That's what everyone tells us. Just work harder. If it's not working out for you, just work harder. You must not be putting in enough hours as the strawberry farmer then. Maybe you should go from working 14-hour days to working 18-hour days, but then you fall miserable, become unhappy, you become depressed, and then you end up getting divorced, and things are even worse off, and your business fails. Then there's farmer number 2, who knows that, we go in cycles when we plant strawberries, and we might be the best worker in the world, but if the climate is changing, maybe it's time to change the product. Maybe it's time to change what we're working on. Otherwise, no matter how hard you work, you'll end up failing. So farmer number 2 takes a different approach. He suspects the climate has shifted, strawberries may not be the best business to be in, and realizes that other farmers are planting avocados. much more likely to be profitable, but they take more time. It's going to take a reset period to go from no avocado trees to avocado trees. He's used to the strawberry business, has a lot of experience, but the avocados are more likely to withstand brutal cold and heat waves. This will actually end up making his business more resilient than it was before. But it requires a transition, a reset. It's going to be expensive and hard. But he has to learn something about human psychology. And that's when you go from success to less success, you eventually become miserable. And so Socrates put it very well when he said the secret to change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, not being farmer number one trying to keep the strawberries going, but on building the new. So farmer number two demolishes his farm. He resets purposefully to zero. There's only one direction you can go now, and that's up, because you're already back at zero. But you brought all your experience with you. And even though you might fail again, refusing to accept life's challenges and the need to adapt means you'll always fail by default. And so in your darkest moments, know the light is ahead. So this is where you personally, just like farmer number two, have to ask yourself, what challenges are you facing in your life that have not let you get ahead? What golden handcuffs have made you feel like you're a slave to the system? Remember, it's not money that makes the man happy. It's success. It's conquest. It's not about a number. It's about getting up and achieving. It's not about quitting. It's about choosing to fight. Not being forced to fight like a slave, but getting up because you get to fight. What makes the man is the person who seeks failure, who seeks starting over, and takes their experience and starts over better. True strength lies in embracing change, learning from setbacks, and using experience to forge a new path. Think of that. Forge. It means to make or shape metal by heating it in a furnace and beating it or hammering it. Forging is not easy. It's not for the weak. Only you can forge your own sword. Nobody else is going to forge your sword for you. Think giant, thick sword. Where's your pricing power? Are you maximizing it? We'll stand up and we'll fight until we can't fight again. Because that's the reason we're on this planet. It's not to lie down and die. It's to succeed and fail and to succeed and fail. And through each conquest, we become stronger. A true man always stands back up and says, how do we solve it? And let's fucking go. That's the conquest of life. And every single time you go through this cycle of success and failure, you become stronger in that growth. You grow your character, your tenacity, your experience, your efficiency, your work ethic. That's what makes you a man. So, if you find yourself today unhappy, unwilling, cornered, and you feel like there's no hope, you feel like a slave, you're not alone. Even the greatest, most respected people in the world feel the way you feel at times. The most powerful men in the world go through this cycle of depression, sadness, addiction, pain, and failure. Everyone is human. The difference is, what do you do with your sadness? Do you stop, give up, and hide? Or do you plot, restart, improve, get back in the fight? You make the choice to restart. You make the choice to get in the fight. This is the one choice we have, the choice to keep fighting. So, with that, I've made mine.